Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies, and this video is on How to Think by Manly P. Hall, an article taken from Horizon, the magazine of useful and intelligent living, February 1942, Volume 1, Number 6. What is mostly needed is gradual stimulus through exercise of mind. How to think. Many people say they would love to know how to think. They are usually those who have for a long time been thinking they were thinking, but now they are harboring the suspicion that very little hard mental exercise was being done, that most of their thinking has been of an instinctive order, in an endeavor to try to think themselves out of work. The 60 cents worth of chemicals that comprise our physical selves prefer to remain in a horizontal position, no doubt about that, and when raised up, they would like to fall again. In this, they are aided by devotion to a certain type of opinion, which has been called the falling sickness of reason, and there are many types of thinking which arise in self-defense, in desperate struggles to get out, in plots and schemes to escape. None of these things are necessarily thinking. They belong to primary impulses inherent in man. Thinking, in order to be thinking, must be for its own sake. Its purpose gets sidetracked when the intent is to gain from it. Great musicians do not write music to sell, nor is the man who paints a picture to sell a great artist. They are men forced to express a beauty they have seen inwardly. Thinking hinged to an economic program is never true thinking. The thinking that is for its own sake, for improvement, and for service to others without reward is a rare commodity to run across. Only occasionally today do we find an idealist. An idealist is one who thinks towards good, for the sake of good. We are trained to think economically, profitably for ourselves, to achieve our ends by scheme and plot. A plot is not a plan. How to think. In an old book is the anecdote of man who is suffering from a bad memory approaching Apollo, hopeful of a panacea for forgetfulness. He says he has read greatly, but cannot remember what he has read. Apollo's instruction is, in order to remember, you have to remember. And what more is there to it? In order to think, you have to think. Thinking is the mind's legitimate purpose. One way to begin is to study the thoughts of those who have thought well. We all have the capacity to think. What is mostly needed is gradual stimulus through exercise. All faculties become keener if they are used. If you go to work on a good book or two of philosophy, in the course of time, you will think. Once you start to use the mind to its legitimate end, thought will flow right along. It will be found the more you think, the better you think. Thinking is not something that explodes in the mind and swooshes off like a skyrocket. Thinking is continuity of mental effort. A thought needs a follow thought. The average person thinks of a dozen things in as many minutes, and never goes through with any of them. This is why we have bad politics, poor religion, and imperfect science. The thinking that is continuity of mental exercise takes hold of an idea, and the mind continues with it until it is finished. It does not drop it somewhere. Ideas are anywhere where you can see what humanity is doing. Socrates said, the best place to get them is on the street corner. A good place I have found is the night court. All things are accomplished by trying. That is the way the child learns to walk. The person who does not know how to think but tries long enough will succeed. Nothing will be accomplished in the first 5 minutes, but he who keeps on will finish up a thinker. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.